Apple is doing an amazing job with the new iOS 27. We're currently on the third beta and waiting for the first public beta to be released just in a few days, and then of course the fourth beta, and the update is actually really good. Until now, Apple has done an amazing job, and of course their focus on more stability, improvements on performance and battery is actually really keeping up. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the latest updates that we have on iOS 27, and we have a lot more new features to talk about, and of course what to expect in the next few days from Apple, and of course the new iOS 27. Now first of all, let's talk about some new features that we have been able to discover with iOS 27 Beta 3. So as you probably know, the top of the keyboard on iOS 27 is now actually way more useful. Like right here, we'll have a write to Siri before you start to write anything on your keyboard. But here's another really cool thing that you can do. If you go ahead and add like a couple emojis here, like I have them right here, and I go back to keyboard, you can see once it detects that I have two or more emojis, it will show me this button right here that says combine, and we have that emoji logo right there. Now what this allows you to do is tap right here, and then this will actually use Playground to combine those two emojis into a single one. So anytime you want to create a new emoji by just adding a few different emojis from the current ones that you have on your keyboard, you simply add them and then tap on combine, and it will generate a new emoji for you. Another thing that I really like on iOS 27 Beta 3, it is what Apple has done with the notification center on iOS 27 Beta 3. So if we have a few notifications here, you can see we have right there the background, and we have the 3D effect right there with a clock on this wallpaper. You can see when I bring down the notification center, it does actually combine. You can see there the icons and the subject of the wallpaper. It actually looks really cool. So that animation has been updated and changed with the third beta of iOS 27. Now Apple has made a couple of changes here with the buttons on the lock screen with the third beta of the new iOS 27. Now first of all, we talked about on the previous video, they basically now have a tint around them. I don't know whether that's a bug or is a feature that will be changed in the future, but they will have a tint in the background which doesn't look that good if you're using liquid glass on your iOS 27 device. But the other change is that they now will actually adopt to the dark mode. So you can see when I turn on the light mode, the buttons are dark. When I turn on the dark mode, the buttons are on the light mode, which is actually super cool. Now you probably have noticed with iOS 27 Beta 3, if you have your device on iOS 27 Beta 3, that now there's basically a redesign of the optimizing for search and Siri on your settings app, but now it also shows you the progress. So previously it would just show you optimizing and you didn't have any like extra info. Now it says optimizing search and Siri, but it does also show you here the progress in percentage, so you know how far away the optimizing for your search and Siri is. There is also another change on the control center. If you go to your control center and you now right here have the accessibility shortcut menu, it has been changed to a drop down instead, basically from a drop down to a list. So if I tap right here, it basically shows me a list of my accessibility shortcuts, and I can go ahead and invoke any of them directly from here. Now, if you're using the standby mode on your iOS 27 device, which most people don't actually use, now the standby mode was a pretty cool feature when Apple announced it, but I don't think there are a lot of users that actually do use it. But still, if you do use it, then you will see the Siri orb on your standby mode. Previously, it would just show you the indicator here at the standby mode and at the dynamic island actually, which basically is that orange indicator just showing you that something is using your microphone. Now, instead of that, it will actually show you this new Siri orb, which is of course the new redesigned orb that you see with the new Siri AI. And according to a report, which is a feature that we cannot actually demonstrate right now, Siri AI can now have access to information from third-party apps. This is something that we have heard about and we have been expecting to come to iOS, which is basically Siri being able to perform actions on third-party apps and not just stock Apple apps. Now Siri will be able to have access to information to third-party apps. Also, right here on the home screen, iOS 27 Beta 3 has toned down the specular highlights around the icons on the home screen. So in my opinion, now it looks much cleaner. Now Apple is doing a great job on iOS 27 when it comes to battery. So here we have the battery performance for iOS 27 Beta 3. So right here you can see 8 hours 11 minutes with 86% battery usage. Right here 6 hours 34 minutes with 80% battery usage, 82% here for 8 hours and 16 minutes. And you have to keep in mind that this is just the beta 3 of a major update. And not just that, updating your device every couple of weeks like we do right now with these betas, of course, won't give you the best battery life because the update actually does need at least a week to settle in on the device and all the background process to be finished in order for you to get the best battery life. So by the time this update is ready for the public and you actually update to iOS 27, you should get way better battery life on your device, even though even like this is not actually that bad at all. Now, as always, Apple has done an amazing job with iOS 27 when it comes to performance. Actually, everything is super smooth and really fast. And probably the average user won't ever even notice that they have a beta on their device if they install iOS 27 beta on their device right now. And you can see here the score with Geekbench 6, 3,755 on the single core score, while we have a multi-core score of 9,722. So basically everything is looking really good with this update. So what to expect next from iOS 27? Well, in a few days now we will have the first public beta, which should be the 13th of July. Monday the 13th of July should be the day that Apple releases the first public beta of iOS 27. That's the time when Apple thinks that the update is ready for the public to test it, even though even now everyone can actually install this update on their device. Then a couple of weeks later, on the 20th of July, I would expect Apple to actually release the fourth beta of iOS 27. And then we will have to wait for another couple of weeks until the 3rd of August for the fifth beta. And then I believe after the fifth beta, then is the time when Apple moves to a weekly schedule with releasing new betas for iOS 27. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you on the next one.